with censored bloopers and great commercials. Sunday Night at the Movies returns next week with The Blue Lagoon.
Hello. I'm Alan King, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Eddie Arnold.
Thank you, Alan.
Eddie and I will be co-hosts for the Premier Craft Show.
What am I, a pole?
I wish I was a dog.
We've got a mouse, but
The men and women of the Fleet Reserve say they hope this is a tradition that can continue for a long time, because they say it's the least they can do for their shipmates who gave...
From Hollywood, the all-new TV Censored Bloopers #4. Hosted by Dick Clark, with guest stars William Shatner and Mary Lou Henner, and special appearances by Joe Campanella, Melanie Chartoff, and Snoopy Sales, and featuring the unplanned flubs and bloopers of Don Adams, Steve Allen, Lloyd Bridges, Bill Burrett, Dick Cavett, Mike Connors, Tim Conway, Dom DeLuise, Robert De Niro, Danny DeVito, Jeff Edwards, Sally Field, Peter Graves, Pat Harrington, Robert Hayes, Judd Hirsch, Alan King, Groucho Marx, Leslie Nielsen, Burt Reynolds, Don Rickles, Barbara Stanwyck, Fred Travalina, Robert Wagner, Lawrence Welk, and many more of your favorite stars. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of TV Censored Bloopers, Dick Clark.
Welcome to our fourth all-new edition of TV Censored Bloopers, the show that is making a household word. Now, tonight, thanks to your overwhelming response to Bloopers 1, 2, and 3, we've got a brand-new collection of unplanned mishaps for you from your favorite television shows and movies and things like that. We've got blown dialogue, and we've got giggles, and we've got trips and slips, and all sorts of forgotten lines that, happily for us, were not forgotten because somebody along the line, either a star or a producer or somebody, remembered to save them so that we could share them with you tonight. Now, for instance, we've got bloopers from the golden age of TV.
Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000, and if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra $100.
We've got bloopers from motion pictures. Here's Robert De Niro on location for the movie The King of Comedy. Now, there's a little lady who didn't realize she walked right into the middle of a movie that was being made. She was just an admiring fan who seized that opportunity to say hello.
I just didn't
Darling.
say hello and goodbye.
That's all right.
I said,
Say hello.
I said, for 2 cents, I'll run in here and say hello.
No,
You're
thank
a
you.
sweet little thing.
It's nice
I'll
of
be
you.
80 in December. Don't you think I should have a
Oh,
Christmas
yeah,
gift?
you deserve a kiss.
We've got bloopers from modern drama.
You know, actors filming on location face many hazards. Weather, fatigue, insects, and other things.
Corduroy and the fair lady gives way to the putrid stink of self-interest. You know what I mean, Harry? Thinking only of number one.
Well, that's just a small sample of what we have in store for you, so stay with us. We'll be right back with more TV Censored Bloopers #4. I'm sure you've run across signs that read, not in service at this time, or closed for repairs. Well, here's some outtakes we call dialogue flubs and fluffs. Now, if you were to post a sign on the performers, it might read, mouth temporarily out of order.
New Center 7 and PM Magazine. Boy, the Eastern Islands get to watch the best on KWWL. New Center Foo-Foo.
I'm in the air pollution.
Up on me, Dad. You're pollution gets down this roadside.
It's the last time, Harry. Put your arms at your sides, and I'm going to blow.
This happens to be the end of your little kidnapping operation. Kidnapping?
Today, Dr. Timothy Johnson has some first aid tips as he continues his series of summer hazards.
You know, many American actors appear in films. Now, if they don't speak the language, they have to learn it, what do they call it, phonetically. Now, in this scene, Rob Wagner has to speak German. He's really pleased. He's finally learned his lines and gotten them out after a lot of takes.
Da drüben an der Berg sind zwei Männer mit einem kleinen Lastwagen vorgehyper und haben aber geschickt nicht wirklich an der Bank zu schaffen, Samutschen.
Welche Bank ist das denn?
Die Parkbank im englischen Garten. That's good, yeah?
You know, I think it was Dr. Dolittle whose main ambition in life was to talk to the animals. Well, here's some animals that even Dr. Dolittle would agree were certainly the talk of the town.
And here's a man who knows how to handle animals, Bill Burrid.
Oh, this fella is the dog. He's 200 pounds of timber. You old rascal, you. But you know, he's like a dog in one way. At mealtime, he wants meat. Your dog will really wolf down his dinner.
Is all right?
Yes, she's gonna be fine. I tell her the truth. I need air. No, she got the worst of breath. Oh, come on, take it easy. I'm a doctor. Come on, get out of the way. I'll tell you, she's something else. And her nose is cold. Wait.
Yeah. Why don't we just keep driving to Texas and you give her an examination of the truck?
What's up? Oh, I'm missing my wife. It's so big.
Commercials. I always have a hard time keeping the dog away from the Alpo. It's not time yet. You can't eat that yet. Wait till it's your turn. This is Alpo beef. It's beef chunks and meat byproducts fortified with enough vitamins and minerals to give your dog a complete and balanced diet. If you're using a dog food that looks meaty or costs about the same as Alpo, check the ingredients. If they say things like cracked barley and wheat flour, you'll know it's got cereal. But here. Oh, it's not time yet. Here, Alpo here is beef chunks and meat byproducts, not a speck of cereal. You get all the meat you pay for with Alpo. I can't torture this dog any longer. A complete and balanced diet.
Now, that commercial was seen live in the early days of the Dick Cavett Show. Now, here's a scene from the award-winning series Taxi that will never be seen anywhere except here.
Elaine.
I know. Worst part is I didn't even get dinner out of it. Usually when a guy dumps me, he takes me to a nice place.
Hey, I tell you what, let's do. I'll get the guys together and we'll go to some, funny looking joint which is around the corner and have a couple of beers and then we'll all jump on top of you and
One of the stars of the hit series Taxi, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mary Lou Henner.
He's already got parents.
I didn't say there wouldn't be problems.
But Jim, his parents are Jim, his parents are desperately trying to find him. They're camped out at the police station right now. The cops just called me and asked if there's any of us him.
Come in here. Rita! Wait a minute. Stay there, I'm coming down. Alex, I got problems with my love life.
Get the out of here. I have no right being here. I don't even want to be here. In fact, it'll probably be doing me no. I can't even
You jump to Tony Danza first.
Okay.
What?
Tony Danza. Oh, Tony is, he's wild, crazy. He's a real giggler. And he gets, like, stuck on one thing and then can't get off of it.
Funny you should mention it. I think we have just the thing. Take a look.
That's what I think, too. A girl I used to date once said...
You do have the face for it. That's what I think, too. A girl I once dated said I was an Italian Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, I think the world is waiting for one of those. I think, too. A girl I once dated said I was an Italian Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, I think the world is waiting for one of those. This is a tough scene, guys. I'm telling you the truth. Is it Memorex or is it Tony?
All right, now, lastly, Danny DeVito.
Oh, Danny. Well, most people don't know this about Danny, but Danny's almost a saint. I mean, he's really one of the loveliest, sweetest people ever.
Not like
he's
the character?
No, nothing like the character. So I don't know whether it's just that he gets to be so mean once a week that he gets it all out of his system or what. But he's really, he's a vegetarian. He's into yoga. He's almost like a guru of the group. And he also is very much in control many times. I mean, he's very spontaneous and everything. But there was one time that he was a blithering idiot.
When Maxie started driving, the George Washington Bridge was dental work. Now, look, Max, look at it in this way. You're not really old. You're just middle-aged.
While Danny's breaking up, watch the very talented character actor Louis Gus struggle to maintain his composure. The man on the right.
Look at it in this way, Max. You're not really old.
It's a shambles. The more he did it, the harder it got. Did that ever get in the show?
No, and I felt so bad for the actor, too, because Danny could never get through that whole bit,
There is a piece of tape here that involves the two of you where he whispers something to you, and the reaction is, what is the story there?
Well,
knocking on that door when you're up to your pretty dimpled cheeks in rubble. And I'll be in here waiting, just so we know that it's you is the password. Here's the password.
That's disgusting.
But memorable. Here's the password.
Disgusting.
But memorable.
I hate to tell you.
But we gotta do it again.
What he says is so filthy. I can't.
What did he say?
Dick, I can't tell you on the air.
Let me take a guess. Listen. But memorable. Got the ear here. Mary Lou Henner, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry.
Sure you're sorry. Sure. We'll see you on Taxi. We'll be right back with some falls and giggles that'll make you giggle. Don't go away.
It's all right, Jed. He's gone. Come on. I squeezed your eye.
You know, an actor's job really isn't easy on the set. He's a very busy person. He's got lines to remember and actions to act and emotions to emote. It's no wonder that occasionally the actors trip up. And here's some of those trips.
Lyle.
Now, this is a daytime drama called The Doctors. Ben Thomas is a very fine actor. He's a powerful leading man, but not necessarily a strong leading man. You know, in order for a television or movie fight scene to look realistic, it has to be very carefully staged and choreographed. Now, you remember the late-night comedy series Fridays? Well, Melanie Chartoff recalls how she and Mary Edith Burrell, two very experienced actresses, almost got the fight technique down.
Well, as you know, Dick, in live television, not everything always goes as it's planned to go. And Mary Edith Burrell and myself had worked out a wonderful little stage fight in preparation for this sketch with a stuntman. And in the staged fight, she was to take a right cut to just miss my jaw, and I was going to throw back my head and then do a pratfall flip over onto the mat and get up and say, "What did you do that for?" Well, when it came time for the live show, in our zeal to make it look as realistic as possible, something went wrong, and, well, it came out something like this.
Here, give me something to do.
Mother, why don't you just sit and relax, dear?
Here, let me stray. I'm good at straying.
It's an instant replay of that in slow motion.
In any case, I have Mary Edith Burrell to thank for this new tooth and my new smile. Thanks, Mary Edith.
Here's one of America's best-loved music makers, Lawrence Welk. Mr. Welk gets the notes out beautifully, but the words, well, sometimes the words give him trouble.
Cowboy star Gene Autry introduced the song Tumbling Lullaby. Tumbleweeds. Tumbling tumbleweeds.
Champagne music maker Lawrence Welk. You know, his voice is one of the most imitated by impressionists and mimics all of the show business personalities. Now, watch comedians Fred Travalena and Pat Harrington try to get through this sketch in which they play Lawrence Welk's fictional brothers.
What we want to know is why that great musical trio, the Welk brothers, broke up.
Sonia Hennis Tutu. You know about the trio?
The Dixie Diddlers? Did you ever...
Sorry about that, Louis.
Sucks me funny, Sonia Hennis. Sonia Hennis Tutu. You know about the trio? The Dixie Diddlers. Did you ever hear us play?
Well, no, not personally.
Biggest. Sonia Hennis Tutu. You know about the trio. The Dixie Diddlers. Did you ever hear us play?
No, I didn't actually hear you.
Biggest. You can do. Okay. See, they can cut it together if anything works. Anything. Listen, Bill, I can do both parts.
Now, here's a scene from the early days of live television. It's a children's show called Mr. Wishbone. Now, keep in mind, it's the 1960s. And in those days, words that are really very innocent today were taboo then. Mr. Wishbone finds that out when his friend Bart says the word diarrhea.
Oh, excuse me, boy. You said very little milk?
Very little milk for...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, because it tends to give them diarrhea, so rather than... Wasn't I supposed to say that?
What did you call that cat, Bart?
What do you mean?
What did you name the kitten, Bart? Doesn't the kitten have a name?
What's his name, Bart?
It's hard to believe that the mere mention of one word, Bart can't get it together.
I'll let you...
What kind of a name is? I'll let you name him.
I'll let you...
Oh, that's very interesting.
You know, Jeff Edwards is a very, very capable game show host, but watch a simple thing like a contestant's hat totally destroy his concentration.
As you know, you can go on winning and winning just as long as you keep picking the mini treasure box with a pop-up surprise. Give me the giggles, Nancy. In just a moment, you're going to walk up there behind us. You're going to choose a package, and that package could represent anything. I don't know why I have the giggles, but I have the giggles. That package, you don't, right?
No.
Okay. That package could represent anything from a real clunk to a jackpot of prizes, or... I'm sorry. Or it could be our grand prize of $50,000. I don't know why I'm doing this. $50,000 in cash. But before you make your choice, we're going to show you some of the surprises. You can't do this in church.
Happen to anybody. You know, people ask me, where do all these bloopers come from? Well, many of them come from the stars themselves. I'll be at a party or a business meeting or whatever, and somebody will come up to me and say, you gotta find the scene where so-and-so and I are doing such and such. It's hilarious. For instance, Joe Campanella, who was in the long-running series Mannix with Mike Connors, told me about an incident that happened to him and to Mike and a car.
Well, that was one of many incidents that we had on the show. And we're professional actors. We're sitting there ready, we're breezing along, there's a fan blowing and everything else like that, and the guy goes like this, which means stop. And we do the reaction, we get out of the car, and there's a big laugh. We kind of look around like, what happened? We turn around, there's the screen still running. The whole experience of working with Mike Connors was marvelous, and there were many marvelous, funny things that happened.
You can start working up an hour.
Let me tell you something, Joe. You've gotten away with it so often, you're beginning to think you're something special, that you can get away with anything. Oh, now, George. Now, what makes this client so unusual? Hmm? And what makes you think the department can't protect her?
Excuse me.
May I help you?
Oh, maybe. I'm looking for... Who am I looking for? Maybe he could have told us what was in that miracle water before we had an analysis.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mike. And coming up next year, guest star William Shatner and some late-breaking news miscues. Stay tuned. Film in a minute.
The biggest increases coming in the freshman and sophomore classes, over 7,600 students.
You know, reporting the news live on television takes exacting skills and many hard hours of preparation. It takes scores of highly trained people. You've got people like anchormen, reporters, editors, writers, technicians, and many, many more. Now, these people are professionals. The job is complex. Where the news is concerned, there is no room for error. Maybe just a little.
All kidding aside, this is a fast-paced business, and a reporter has to be able to work quickly, keep his or her cool, and get it right the first time. Do it one more time.
You know, firemen are courageous. They're there when you need them, but about the hose.
And even if your jaw is wired shut, I think it's possible to nod your head yes or to shake your head no.
Sometimes the news is too true to be good, but... Sometimes the news is too true to be good, but our job is to bring it to you quickly. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This is it. Sometimes the news is too true to be good, but our job is to bring it to you quickly and accurately. At News Center 8, we're meeting that responsibility. Should I do it again?
Warren, as soon as I start talking, you can start. Okay?
Karate is a sport that requires a great deal of strength, concentration, and extreme precision. And if you have any doubts about that, let me introduce you to International Women's Karate Champion.
And speaking of water, there's a fireman's ball coming up in town, if you're not familiar with fireman's balls.
Well, that's right. You can get familiar.
The cloth that I'm wearing is interlaced with pieces of iron. It's called a bulletproof vest. And for Metro police officers, it could save their lives. This morning, here at the gun range, they were demonstrated. To test the effectiveness, we'll fire a .22 caliber pistol into this vest.
Damn! That hurt like hell.
It's time now for sports, and here's some sportscasters who are very good sports.
I know people care about their sports here. We're a professional sports team, team.
White is behind the pink, but the yellow is on that side cushion. And for those of you in black and white, it's just behind the blue.
Alabama on top of things in the Southeastern Conference with a 15-2 record in conference play, 22-3 overall. Kentucky in second place is in most of the year, 1-2 between those two teams. Tennessee and Auburn tied for third, followed by Vandy, Florida.
I don't know about you, but my favorite part of a newscast is the weather report. Now, lately, news programs have tried to sort of out-weather each other with unique, amusing television, what they call special effects. Now, here's some classic examples of some unforecastable weather forecasts.
Because nothing has happened. It is all just about the same as it was yesterday, and for the next 5 days, it's going to continue to be real nice, as a matter of fact. All right, let's have a look now. Around Ohio, and you did it again, guys. I'm talking to myself. You pushed the wrong cotton-picking button.
Satellite 1 o'clock today shows the sunshine in Ohio, that Canadian high still doing its thing. But look to the east of there, you see clouds in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and that is with an upper air disturbance that set off a few showers. The fly is on the monitor now.
And this is the heavier cloud cover, the lighter, that you can see on top of it. But of course, here in Central Texas, skies are fair. Well, we were going to the Texas map, but instead it came to us. So we'll go back to it, I guess. April Fool's Day, obviously, isn't it?
You know, William Shatner is a very fine motion picture and television actor. He's currently known as T.J. Hooker. You also know him as the captain of the Starship Enterprise on Star Trek. Now, for years, this is a man who's mastered the highly scientific and technical jargon associated with space travel. Watch how those technological words just roll off his tongue with the greatest of ease.
Lights on. All right, Stryker, Bobby don't lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to a man who is in complete command of everything. Well, almost everything. One of the stars of the new movie Airplane 2, the distinguished actor, Mr. William Shatner. Yes, you know, I have watched your career for a lot of years. It started back in the days when things were live, and
I was dancing on American Bandstand.
When you were a little boy. Was there ever... Somebody told me a piano story. I never saw it. Was it a live television show that this thing
Unger, didn't you serve under over in the Air Force?
No, not directly. Technically, Dunn was under over and I was under Dunn.
So then, Dunn, you were over Unger, Dunn. Under over.
Dunn was over Unger and I was over Dunn.
So you see, both Dunn and I were under over even though I was under Dunn.
Yep. And of course, everybody knows Elaine.
Oh.
Certainly that up.
Ted, we need you.
Elaine. You know... Elaine.
Ted, please.
Elaine, listen to
Ted,
me.
we can't go on like this anymore.
You don't understand. We have to go back.
I understand perfectly. We've been through what?
Courage. Dedication, daring, pride, pluck, spirit, grit, mental bravado, and G-U-T-S, guts. I want all of you on your toes for this one. First, I need a computer estimate of how long that ship can last after that bomb blows. Norton, give me a...
Sure, there's certain serious actors do make mistakes, but you will notice that there was nothing of me.
Why was that?
One take shot. One take shot.
One take shot.
One take shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to see the man who never makes mistakes. One take shot.
Billions of people are hanging on our every word, hoping and praying that you put this ship down on ground. Safe ground. Just as safe as it can be.
One piece.
In one piece. Key word. Ugly is that last line. Hoping. Huh? Billions of people. Billions. Down and down safe. We just hooked into the radio communication satellite. Down and down safe. We've just hooked into down and down safe. Set her down. Nice and slowly. Whenever you're ready. It's upside down. Look, those people up there, I'd say let Ted Stryker go down on a molten piece of twisted mass of molten metal.
I think you invented a new language.
It's not a new language, it's an old language. I learned it when I was out in space. So.
It's nice to have you back on ground. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. William Shatner. Thank you. Next, some unforgettable lines that were forgotten and some props that flopped.
I'd like to make something very clear. There's no question about what my mother saw. But there's some question about what I'm going to say next.
Well, when you were in school, did you ever have trouble memorizing a speech or a poem or an essay, something like that? I know I did. Usually they're only a few pages long. Did you know that a 1-hour television script is about 100 pages long? Well, that's a lot for an actor to memorize. Well, here are some actors who have no trouble memorizing whole scripts. They just can't remember the next line.
I wonder if Harris got through all right.
Harris will get through, if anybody can.
You know what I wish?
What?
I wish I knew what the hell my next line is.
I guess we'll go back to doing what I do best. Show off.
When do we get started?
When do we get started?
That's my line.
When do we get started?
That's my line. You
Oh.
say whenever you like.
Whenever you like. That's right, keep it going. This is good stuff.
Yeah, I like this. Steve, where are you, sweetheart?
I'm down here, Jane.
Darling, couldn't you have carpeted the kitchen before the guests arrived?
Oh, I'll be finished in a minute, dear, thanks to these Zeit cleaning, cling, cling. Cling, clang, and clang.
Oh, I have some onion dip.
I wish, oh, look at that. I don't mind if I do. Thank you very much. Oh, God. Oh.
Wipe your mouth.
Mm-hmm. It's all of it, well, don't worry. Just rinse it off in the sink.
You're kidding.
I'm joking.
Isn't it amazing how your mind just goes blank? Now, in this scene from the hit series Fame, Valerie Landsberg and Carlo Imperato may have just set a record.
Good morning. I'm looking for the lady of the house. I'm here to inspect your plumbing.
Did you bring your plumber's helper?
I asked, but he was busy.
Well, our plumbing's fine, honey. Hot water's hot and cold water's cold. My plumbing's fine, honey. Hot water's hot and cold water's cold.
I'm glad.
My plumbing's fine, honey. Hot water's hot and cold water's cold. Did you bring your plumber's helper?
I asked, but he was busy.
Now, the movie Creep Show. It's a real scary horror film. The lights are low. Hold on to your seat.
You can't shoot us dead, Richard.
Because we're already dead.
Already dead.
Already dead. Already dead.
You said that.
All right, Chris, let's have some answers.
Sorry, wrong name, Chris.
Go ahead. Okay, Michael, let's have some answers.
Now, Guard Addis, will you please open the safe? Guard Addis, there he comes. He will now dial the final digit in the combination and open the safe. And when he does that, Carolyn, I want you to reach in there, and there will be a wheel. And Guard Addis, could you open the door, please?
Are we out?
Yeah. He forgot the combination.
It's been realized for a long time that sharks, primitive as they may be, are also highly adaptable. But it was not until this project in Nicaragua.
If you'd like to get a Michael Valbracht original, you can get one at Neiman Marcus, Saks, Giorgio's of Beverly Hills, or, there's only 3 of them. I couldn't make up another one now.
Did you ever notice how things go wrong when you least expect them to? Let me give you an example. You're late for work and your car won't start, or you sit down to watch the game and the TV picture goes out, or you turn on the shower and you get cold water. It gets you crazy, doesn't it? But we're going to see what happens when simple things like a prop don't work and the actor least expects it.
Don't wait to order a shrimp cocktail. Open one.
Uh-huh. Open one if you can.
Grant, she's not worth it.
Here's a wonderful piece of stage business. Now, Sharon Acker, if she was a magician, couldn't pull this off as she tried. Watch.
Willard here never figures things like that out.
Well, I guess we'd better be going.
We'll have a report for you, sir, as soon as possible.
Texas, where men live big, love big, and lie even bigger. Texas. Texas, where men live big, love big, and lie even bigger. Texas.
Hello? How's it going in the booth?
You know, one of everybody's favorite kids' programs in the early 60s was the zany Soupy Sales Show. Every child in the world watched that thing. Well, recently we heard about an incident that happened live on the show involving, what would you say, an unexpected visitor to the set. So we asked Soupy to tell us just what happened.
It happened in about 1960, 61, and I was doing the kids' show. And I was supposed to be up front working with White Fang, the dog. And I was supposed to be talking with him, and I would hear a scream, a sound effect of a woman screaming. And then I was supposed to go to the door, and there was going to be a pair of women's shoes being pulled by catgut, followed by a pair of men's shoes. And it would be a take from me into the camera, and they would go into a commercial. So anyway, so I get through, and I hear the woman scream. I went, great. And I go to the door, and I noticed that the number 2 camera is swinging over to the right. And I said, oh, that's great. It's going to get a close-up of the shoes being pulled by. And going to the door, and I opened the door, and everybody was in on it but me. There is what you're going to see now. There is a naked girl. And I mean, I went, because I was going to have a heart attack. I thought it was the end of my career. It was just, because everything was live in those days, but they were taping this. And here's what happened. Be careful. That's all right. Oh, yeah! I couldn't to say there's a naked girl at the door. You just didn't do that in those days. I mean, you just didn't do it. The fact is, when I got through it and the show was still going live, I went back up. I was just hysterical because what do you say on it? You can't say, hey, folks, there's a naked girl back there.
Anyway, well, all I know is the music was playing, and
I could see the monitor over on the left and back, and I saw her on it, but they had just patched that in so I could see it. Naturally, it scared me to death, really. It was just a shock to see. How many times you open the door and see a naked girl?
which is good. And no, right now, let's have a couple of commercials.
What was wild, when I walked back out, there were no guys manning the cameras, and there were no stagehands, and they were all in the back with the cameras taking photo flash pictures of the girl. And I mean, I said, well, that's really ridiculous. I got 2 8x10s myself.
Well, wait a minute. Now, for the very first time, here is what Soupy really saw. Well, it's almost what Soupy saw. We'll be right back.
Starting today,
That's it for the 4th edition of TV Censored Bloopers, and I'm very, very happy to announce, because of you, we are going to be back again with TV Censored Bloopers number 5. Yay! How about that? I'd like to thank all of our guests for sharing in the fun tonight. You know, there's a song from the Broadway show, a chorus line. I think it's, well, what's the title of it? What I Did for Love. And that pretty much sums up the feeling that we get from all of the stars and the news people and the prop men and the folks behind the scenes who've been so very, very generous. They've allowed us to laugh along with some wonderful, unexpected bloopers. There's no doubt about it. They did so with love. We thank them. We thank you. For tonight, Dick Clark. Good night.
Now stay tuned as Ed McMahon and Mariette Hartley host the all-new television's greatest commercials. They'll make you sing and break you up. They're the biggest little spectaculars in the world. 30 years of the jingles you hummed and the jokes you laughed at, with stars you never expected to see doing commercials. Next on NBC.